Chosen one. The door you prayed for is open. Not halfway, not cracked, not hidden behind delay or doubt. It stands before you now, wide, golden, and waiting. For so long, you pressed your face against the cold wall of impossibility. You whispered prayers into midnight silence, wondering if they pierced the heavens or dissolved into the air. You watched seasons pass. You saw others walk into their opportunities, carrying keys you didn't have. And yet, your spirit never stopped knocking. You didn't realize that heaven was not ignoring you. It was preparing a moment that could not be stolen, rushed, or faked. And now, the timing is divine. The coordinates are exact. The lock has turned, and the voice of the Almighty echoes through your soul. Enter. But hear me clearly. This is not just another chance. This is not one of many doors. This is the door. The one your spirit recognized before your mind understood. The one that answers not only the cry of your heart, but the assignment over your life. And yet, an open door doesn't walk you through itself. You must move. You must step. You must be bold enough to leave behind the hallway you've been pacing in. Because there will be voices subtle, mocking, fearful, telling you to wait, to doubt, to reconsider. Some will disguise themselves as concern. Others will be laced with the venom of jealousy. And still others will come from within your own mind, whispering the old lies. What if you're not ready? What if it's not for you? Chosen one. You are ready not because you feel ready, but because God says you are. The oil on your head was not poured in vain. The tests you endured were not random torture. They were forging. Every delay was preparation. Every disappointment was recalibration. And now, the hour has struck. Before you stands a divine threshold, shimmering with the promise of answered prayer. It is not here by accident. It is not here forever. This is a now moment, a divine appointment with your destiny. I am here to tell you, step through, without apology, without hesitation, without dragging the weight of old seasons into this new one. Because on the other side is not just your blessing, it's your assignment, your influence, your next chapter written in the ink of heaven's will. And the only thing left is your yes. Chosen one. Hear this with your spirit, not just your ears. The door before you is not random opportunity. It is prophecy fulfilled. It is the manifestation of every tear you sowed in faith, every midnight prayer, every act of obedience that made no sense in the natural. It is the result of heaven's strategy, not human manipulation. For months, years, perhaps decades, the enemy has tried to convince you that your prayers were hitting a brass ceiling, that your hope was a waste, that the promises whispered over your life were nothing more than wishful thinking. But the truth is this: while the enemy was plotting delay, God was building the structure of your breakthrough. I hear the Spirit saying, I have gone ahead of you. I have cleared the path. I have placed before you an open door that no man can shut. Ambry. And this door is not just for personal blessing, it is for kingdom impact. It leads to a place where your voice carries weight, where your hands carry healing, where your presence shifts atmospheres. It is not a stage for ego. It is an altar for glory. Everything you've been through has prepared you to walk into this space without bowing to pride or fear. The atmosphere beyond the door is different. The air feels charged, the light sharper, the ground steadier. This is because you are stepping into an environment that was spiritually fortified before you ever arrived. God has gone ahead to remove traps, silence, false voices, and arrange divine connections. There are people on the other side who have been praying for you, not knowing your name, but calling out for the solution you carry. You see, this door is not simply about what you will receive. It is about who will receive through you. It is the answer to prayers you didn't even know were being prayed. When you step through, you are stepping into someone else's miracle. And yet there is mystery here. You don't see the full picture because faith requires motion before revelation. God is saying, I will not show you every detail, because if you saw it all, you would lean on your own wisdom. But as you step, the next stone will appear beneath your feet. Do not be surprised if what's waiting feels bigger than what you thought you could handle. It will look too vast, too weighty, too beyond your resume, because it is not your resume that opened the door. It is your yes. Heaven measures readiness by surrender, not credentials. This open door is also a dividing line. When you cross it, certain people, habits, and mindsets cannot come with you. This is why, in recent weeks, you have felt a strange separation, people drifting away, old desires losing their flavor, familiar places feeling foreign. God was cutting ties that would weigh you down on the other side. Do not grieve the pruning. It was the preparation. In the Spirit, I see a golden threshold, and as you step forward, the word access is inscribed above it in light. The moment your foot crosses over, chains that have clung to you for years will fall without struggle. Doors behind you will seal shut not as punishment, but as protection. You will feel an inner release, a sudden clarity, as though a fog has lifted and the horizon has opened. And hear this, the enemy is aware of this moment. That's why the last season felt like chaos. The pushback was not proof you were off track, but confirmation you were nearing breakthrough. He tried distraction. He tried fatigue. He tried to provoke you into old patterns. But you stood, and your standing has unlocked this opening. God says, this door is your inheritance. It was written into your scroll before you were born. I have kept it hidden until the appointed time, and now the time is fulfilled. When you enter, expect acceleration. The pace will shift. The things that once took years will happen in weeks. Connections will form effortlessly. Ideas will align with resources. Opportunities will call for you rather than you chasing them. This is not random favor, it is appointed flow. But know this too. The door is not the destination. It is the transition point. What lies beyond requires stewardship. The same faith that brought you here will be the faith that keeps you moving forward. Do not become casual with the grace you are walking in. Guard it, protect it, nourish it with prayer and obedience. Chosen one, as I speak, you may feel it in your spirit, the quickening, the holy weight, the unmistakable pull toward destiny. This is the confirmation you asked for. The door you prayed for is not in the distance. It is here, and God is not whispering, He is declaring, enter. Chosen one, if you only understood the timing of God, you would see that nothing in your life was wasted. Not the delays, not the detours, not even the pain that made you question whether He still heard you. When heaven opens a door, it is never random. It is the collision of divine timing, divine positioning, and divine readiness. And this moment right now is the manifestation of all three converging in your life. Think of the way the earth moves through seasons. No matter how hard you try, you cannot make spring come in winter. You can plant seeds in January, but they will not bear fruit until the appointed time. The same is true in the Spirit. The door you have been praying for was planted as a promise in a past season, but its fruit has only now come to fullness. The delay was not denial. It was gestation. God was not just preparing the door, He was preparing you to walk through it. Because an early entrance into a premature season is not blessing, it's sabotage. The timing of this open door is proof that the weight of what's beyond it would have been too much for you before now. This is the first layer of meaning. Maturity precedes access. The wilderness you endured was not punishment. It was strengthening. Like David tending sheep before he faced Goliath, you were being trained in places no one was applauding, so that when the public moment came, you could stand without shaking. The second layer is alignment. God doesn't just open a door because you're ready. He opens it when the environment on the other side is ready for you. Joseph's dream didn't manifest until Egypt needed exactly what God had placed inside him. Your open door means there is a void only you can fill, and heaven has synchronized the moment so that your arrival is perfectly timed with the need. The third layer is divine endorsement. An open door in the kingdom is not like an open door in the world. In the world, opportunity often comes from self-promotion, manipulation, or coincidence. In the kingdom, an open door is stamped with God's signature, and it comes with favor that no human can manufacture or revoke. This is why Revelation 3:8 declares, "See, I have set before you an open door that no one can shut." When God opens it, no enemy can lock it again. But let's talk about the metaphor of the door itself. A door is both a barrier and a passageway. It separates spaces, one season from another, one level from another, one realm from another. It demands a decision: stay where you are, or step into what's next. And stepping through always requires trust, because you cannot see every detail on the other side. This is why your faith is so critical right now. Hebrews 11:8 tells us, "By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to a place he was to receive as an inheritance. and he went out, not knowing where he was going. That's the same kind of faith required of you. You don't need the map, you need the movement. Consider the imagery of light. When a door is cracked open in a dark room, the first thing you notice is the light spilling through. Light is a sign of direction, of warmth, of hope. In the spirit, light represents revelation, the ability to see what was once hidden. This open door in your life is spilling divine light into places that were once shadowed by confusion or delay. Follow that light. It will not lead you astray. Now think of seasons. The door's opening marks the end of a winter and the beginning of a spring in your spiritual timeline. In winter, everything seems dead on the surface, but beneath, roots grow deeper, structures strengthen, and preparation happens in silence. Spring is when what was hidden bursts forth. The open door is the first bloom after a long frost, the tangible proof that life was still moving beneath the surface when you saw nothing. Storms, too, play a part in this imagery. The storms you endured were not just tests, they were recalibrations. Winds shift things into place. Rain washes away debris. Lightning illuminates what was hiding in the dark. Your storms cleared the path to this door, and though the enemy sent them to break you, God used them to align you. And here's something many miss. A door's value is not just in what it gives you access to, but in what it protects you from. On the other side, there are assignments and blessings, yes. But behind you, there are traps, cycles, and mindsets that will no longer have access to you once you cross. The moment you step through, the spiritual address of your life changes. The enemy will look for you where you used to be, and you will not be there. This leads to another truth. An open door requires a closed door behind you. Some doors do not shut until you move forward. Some relationships do not end until you step into your next assignment. Some patterns do not break until you occupy the new space. This is why hesitation can be dangerous. It keeps you in the hallway, where both the old and the new pull on you. There's also the principle of threshold warfare. In Scripture, thresholds were sacred places, points of crossing, where blessings or curses could be enacted. The enemy often fights hardest at the threshold because he knows once you cross, the battle shifts in your favor. That's why the resistance right before this moment was so intense. The warfare was not about your past, it was about your crossing. Spiritually, this door is also a covenant moment. God is essentially saying, I am bringing you into what I promised. It is the manifestation of his faithfulness. But like Israel entering the promised land, you must be prepared to not just enter, but to occupy. That means bringing the disciplines, the prayer life, and the humility you cultivated in the wilderness into this new territory. Finally, understand this. The door is not the reward obedience is. The door is simply the next assignment God has for you, dressed in the answer to your prayers. It's his way of saying, well done now, come higher, chosen one. This is why it's happening now. You are ready in spirit. The environment is ready for you. The timing in heaven's calendar has struck. And the God who began a good work in you is bringing it to completion, not someday, not eventually, but now. Chosen one. God rarely moves without leaving a trail of whispers. Long before the door swings open, he sows hints into your days, subtle enough for the doubter to overlook, but unmistakable to the one whose spirit is tuned to his frequency. If you look back over recent weeks and months, you may realize the signs have been gathering, converging like threads in a divine tapestry. 1. The repeated image of doors, keys, and gates. Perhaps you've been seeing actual doors more often in dreams, in visions, even in random social media images. Maybe keys have appeared in unexpected places, or you found yourself noticing gates that seem out of place in your surroundings. This is not coincidence, it's prophetic shorthand. In Scripture, doors represent access, gates signify authority, and keys symbolize the power to open or lock what is before you. God has been seeding these visuals into your awareness to prepare your heart for the reality now standing before you. You may have even had dreams where you were standing before a door but couldn't find the key, and then, more recently, a dream where the door was already open. That shift in imagery is heaven's way of saying, the time of searching is over. Now is the time of entry. 2. Unusual patterns in numbers and timing. Has a certain time on the clock been repeating for you? Perhaps you keep glancing at 3:33, 11:11, or 4:44. In the natural, this might seem like coincidence, but in the spirit, These repeating patterns often signify divine alignment. For example, 3:33 might draw you to Jeremiah 33:3. Call to me, and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. It's God's way of whispering, I'm revealing what has been hidden. You might also notice key events clustering around the same day of the week, or significant anniversaries resurfacing. These patterns are not random, they are divine fingerprints on your timeline, hinting that heaven's calendar has brought you to an appointed moment. 3. The sense of restlessness in familiar places. In the last season, places and routines that once felt comfortable may have started to feel constricting. It's as if the air grew stale, the colors faded, the rhythm lost its joy. This is a spiritual sign that your current room can no longer contain what God has grown inside you. Restlessness, when birthed from God, is not ingratitude. It's a sign of transition. It's His way of saying, don't get too comfortable here, because I'm about to move you there. C. Divine encounters with new people or opportunities. Have you met someone recently who carries a sense of destiny about them? Perhaps it was a short conversation, yet it left a deep imprint, as if the Holy Spirit was saying, pay attention. Sometimes God introduces you to gatekeepers, individuals positioned to help usher you into your next season. Other times, He sends encouragers to confirm what He's been speaking privately. These connections are not random networking, they are prophetic alignments. You may have also received sudden opportunities that felt strangely easy compared to past struggles. That ease is not luck, it's favor. It means the door is swinging on heaven's hinges, not human ones. 5. An intensification of spiritual warfare right before breakthrough. You've probably noticed it, the pushback, the distractions, the sudden emotional heaviness that seem to appear out of nowhere. This is what I call threshold warfare. The enemy fights hardest right before you step through a door he cannot follow you into. Those recent moments of doubt, sudden fatigue, or even old temptations resurfacing, they weren't signs you were failing. They were signs you were about to cross over. Hell doesn't waste resources on people going nowhere. The attack was proof of your proximity to breakthrough. Lou, dreams and inner impressions, growing more vivid. Have your dreams been carrying more weight lately? Maybe you've been waking up with the sense that God is trying to tell you something even if the images don't fully make sense yet. Prophetic dreams often intensify before a major shift. Sometimes they're symbolic, like walking through a hallway, climbing a staircase, or being handed a key. Other times, they are direct, someone telling you, it's time, or go. If you've been feeling a heightened sense of urgency in your spirit without knowing why, that's the inner witness of the Holy Spirit preparing you to move. 7. Provision appearing before the need is announced. One of the clearest signs that a door is opening is when God starts sending resources, people, finances, ideas, tools before you even ask. This is because He equips before He sends. If you've noticed unexpected help, sudden inspiration, or financial provision showing up in the past weeks, it's a prophetic signal. Heaven is resourcing your next step. Chosen one. These signs and symbols are not random. They are the language of the Spirit, God's way of aligning your awareness, so that when the door appears, you recognize it instantly. The tragedy for many is that they miss their moment because they treat signs as coincidences. But you are not like them. You are awake, alert, and attuned. You've been feeling the buildup, sensing the shift, and now that the door stands open, you cannot hesitate. Remember, signs do not replace faith, but they fuel it. They are the confirmation that you're not imagining this. Heaven really has moved on your behalf. Chosen one. The door you prayed for is open, but open doors do not walk you through themselves. There is movement required. There is obedience required. There is urgency required. This is not a casual invitation. It is a summons. And heaven's summons is not something you pencil in for later. 1. Step now. Delay is dangerous. The longer you stand in the doorway, the more opportunity the enemy has to whisper doubt into your ear. Indecision is an assassin of destiny. If you linger too long, you risk talking yourself out of what God already approved. Remember Israel at the edge of the promised land. A generation delayed themselves out of inheritance because they chose fear over faith. God says to you now, do not overthink what I have already confirmed. Enter. 2. Leave the luggage behind. You cannot drag the weight of the old season into the new one. Bitterness, resentment, and fear, will not pass through this door without costing you peace and clarity on the other side. Travel light spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Forgive what must be forgiven. Release what must be released. Some people cannot come with you, not because they are evil, but because their assignment in your life is complete. 3. Guard your tongue in the transition. Not everyone needs to know your next move. Premature exposure invites unnecessary warfare. Jesus often told people, "See that you tell no one," after performing miracles not because he feared opposition, but because timing matters. Share your testimony on the other side. But for now, let your movement be your announcement. 4. Keep your eyes on the one who opened the door. When you step through, there will be new sights, new opportunities, and yes, new distractions. The blessing can become a snare if it takes your gaze off the blesser. Stay anchored in prayer. Wake up with worship. Treat God's voice as your GPS, constant, trusted, and obeyed without debate. Woo! Expect acceleration and prepare for it. On the other side, the pace will pick up. You'll feel like everything is moving faster. Divine connections, answered prayers, rapid changes. This is not chaos, it's momentum. But momentum, without preparation, becomes overwhelm. Write down instructions God gives you. Keep your schedule flexible enough to respond to sudden opportunities. And keep your spirit uncluttered, so you can discern the difference between what is urgent and what is essential. 6. Protect the oil. What you are carrying into this new season is costly. It was forged in fire and paid for in tears. Do not cheapen it by using it carelessly or for applause. The oil on your life is for impact, not entertainment. Guard it through purity, humility, and obedience. 7. Resist the pull backward. The enemy will sometimes try one last tactic after you step through, pulling you back into old cycles through guilt, nostalgia, or sudden reappearances of old relationships. Recognize it for what it is, a distraction designed to dilute your focus. Lot's wife turned back and lost everything because she couldn't release her attachment to the past. Your future is not behind you. 8. Speak into the space you enter. When you cross the threshold, open your mouth and declare God's presence in the new territory. Your words have authority. Bless the space, speak life into it, and command every atmosphere to align with heaven's order. This isn't superstition, it's spiritual law. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. 9. Stay humble in the height. God is elevating you, but elevation without humility becomes a fall waiting to happen. Remember, you are stepping through this door not just for your sake, but for those who will be blessed through you. Keep your heart low even as God takes you high. Sir, move in praise, not pressure. The enemy will try to make you feel like you must prove yourself worthy of the door once you enter. But God did not open it because of your performance. He opened it because of His promise. Your job is not to strive for approval. It's to walk in gratitude and faithfulness. Chosen one. The window of this open door is divine but not indefinite. There is a now to your obedience. If you've been waiting for one more confirmation, one more sign, one more moment, this is it. The hesitation you feel is not discernment. It's the enemy trying to disguise fear as wisdom. God says, "You have lingered long enough in this mountain. Turn and go forward. Forward into the place prepared for you. Forward into the fulfillment of the prayers you thought were forgotten. Forward into the influence, the territory, and the peace that comes from walking in step with heaven. Do not waste this moment. Do not let the enemy talk you out of what God has already placed in your hands. The door is open. The voice of the Lord is clear. The only thing left is for you to walk through." Chosen one. You have heard the message. You have felt the weight of it in your spirit. You know this is not just another video, not just another set of words. This is heaven pressing you into your now moment. The door you prayed for is open. God said, "Enter," and nothing in hell or on earth can close what He has commanded to remain open. I want you to take a breath right here, and I want you to let these truths anchor deep inside you. Affirmation 1. I am stepping through every God-appointed door without fear, delay, or apology. Say it again out loud. Feel your own voice agreeing with heaven's decree. This is not just self-talk. This is alignment. Your mouth is partnering with the will of God. Affirmation 2. What God has opened for me, no one can shut. Let that sink in. This isn't based on how people see you. how qualified they think you are, or how perfect your past has been. It's based on His word, His authority, His timing. If He opened it, it is yours to walk through. Affirmation 3. I carry the oil, the authority, and the favor for this season. Not because you earned it in human terms, but because He anointed you for it before the foundation of the world. You are not trespassing. You are inheriting. Chosen one. As you repeat these, I want you to see yourself stepping through that golden threshold. Feel the chains falling. Feel the air changing. Feel the shift in your spirit as you cross from waiting into walking. This is your moment, not because I said so, but because God's Spirit in you is already bearing witness. You feel the quickening. You feel the stirring. You feel the yes rising in your soul. And when you step through, it will not just be your victory. It will be the victory of every person connected to your assignment. There are lives, stories, and futures on the other side of this door that will be forever changed because you obeyed. So, walk. Don't tiptoe. Don't half-step. Walk with your shoulders back, your head high, and your heart bowed before the one who made this possible. The hallway was long, but the door is here. The waiting was hard, but the moment is now. You are chosen, appointed, and released. The door you prayed for is open. God said enter. So, enter.